folks at home, what is up? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite ways to catch bass in the post spawn, kind of late spawn time period, when the grass is a little bit higher and there's a bunch of junk in the water and fish are spread out, and it is fishing a square bill crankbait or high sticking a crankbait above the grass. So we're gonna head underwater today. We are gonna do a lot of cranking. We are gonna talk about how I fish this, where I fish this, and how you can use this technique to catch a lot. Alright guys, the reason why high sticking a crankbait this time of the year works is because bass tend to ride on top of the cover. Right here you see this fish not getting down there in the weeds and the muck and hiding, it's running on top of the cover. So if you can fish a crankbait through this cover and high stick it over the top, you're going to fish a bait in a way that a lot of guys aren't going to see. Now here is the Rapala Scatter Rap in Penguin, and let me tell you, this bait is fantastic for this. I fish it like an old school Rapala. I crank it down to the weeds, I let it rise up, crank it down to the weeds, let it rise up. I also fish this around docks a ton. So here you can see down this dock, I'm running this bait and I'm knocking into every dock post, because what the bass do is they use the docks this time of year to run and stay in basically prime feeding zones because they're eating up from the spawn, right? So if you can run this bait, let it rise up and fall right by dock posts, right in weed beds, you're gonna kill. My second favorite bait here is the OG Rocco 5 from Rapala, and this bait has a big knock on it, but it's also very buoyant. If it catches in weeds, as you're gonna see right here, it's gonna catch some weeds by these rocks, and literally all you do is pause it, let it rise up, it sheds those weeds, and you're back to fishing. I really like balsa baits this time of year. They're just gonna get bit better, and they shed weeds a lot better on that pause. You can see it's shedding that weed again and just really contributing to a better cast in a tough situation to throw mini baits with all this junk in the water. But both Rapala baits, really enjoy those, really enjoy fishing them by docks, running them down through the cover. It's a really good way to get bit. Now, these shallow running crankbaits here, you've got the KVD 1.5 and super shallow, and basically what you're looking for on these crankbaits are baits that are going to run super shallow and not get down into the weeds. That's also why I'm high sticking this rod. Anytime that you're fishing super shallow with crankbaits, you're going to run into cover. You just pause and back it out. Another great example here is the Storm Arashi Square Bill. This is a self-tuning bait. It's got a big thump on it with that circuit board lip, and it does a fantastic job running on top of the cover. As you can see here, there are a ton of bass and different predator fish all over the shallows, and a great way to find them, as you saw that one right there, is to literally run these crankbaits down, bank them off everything you can find, sticks, rocks, trees, docks, whatever, and they're just awesome. You see this Bro Fat Papa 55, and it's a bluegill color. I love running this bait around docks because that's what bass are eating right now. The bluegill have been pestering them the whole spawn. There's a ton of baitfish shallow. They're going to inhale a bluegill profile bait this time of the year, and they just really enjoy it. Once again, you see all these bass and baitfish under the dock here. Here we're running a bomber square bill, and these things are the cheapest square bills that you can find, but the bass love them and they're going to get bit. The only thing that I want to do, I'm running this one out of the package, but I want to change those bronze hooks because I'm going to catch a lot of fish. These things shed weeds amazingly. I love a good bomber crankbait bite. In Minnesota, they were almost second to none. There you saw another bass under the dock right there. But I learned to fish these baits effectively in shallow cover around, and high sticking them through things will get bit. Here's a bait that I make myself. It's a knockoff of a Megabass crankbait, but I like to get the plain ones and I like to paint them very loud, bright colors and bluegill colors. Here's a pumpkin seed right here. You can see the deep blues and the deep oranges that I put on this bait. One of the things that I find in dirty water, they're going to eat this bait better than other average baits. as you can tell, this is a technique that is very lake specific, very dependent upon what time of year you're gonna fish it. You can always high stake a crankbait through vegetation and cover, but it takes a lot of patience. It takes a bait that is very buoyant. All those baits that I showed you today, from the bomber to that Rapala to the Rococo, all those things are baits that I have a lot of confidence in, baits that come through cover well. High sticking a crankbait is meant to get through a lot of all of this grass, stringy weed cover stuff. It's a great way to show fish something that they don't normally see, right? I am a big fisherman in using baits in ways that people don't normally use them, or fishing them in a way that they don't normally see a lot, because I believe that pressure makes fish do silly things, and if you fish like everybody else, you're gonna get the same results as most guys. I wanna be better than average. I wanna whack them every time I go out there, right? So if you guys enjoy what's happening on the channel, give us a like, give us a subscribe. Go get all of these baits at Omnia. Help us out using that link that we provide in the description. Helps us out a ton. Head over to Omnia, buy the stuff from there. It helps us out. It allows us to do more, to get more baits, to test new things, to show you how to do it. Thanks for hanging out with us today, guys. We'll catch you next time. See you later.